example for our countries, because we do feel that our countries are not being represented that well. So we hope that we just we're trying our best to set a good example.
Now, let me ask you, since you came to the United States, what is your perception? Now, the two of you, this is your first time. You've been to the United States twice before. I'm going to direct my question, and we'll come in.
Please.
What do you feel when you heard about the United States before? Was it all about rock and roll singers and all kinds of our politics that we had the same that it was years running the same candidates over and over and over, our television program. What changed for you when you came to our country? What's different than the perception that you got when you were in in Kuwait, in Lebanon, and in Yemen. Yes, Yemen. I gotta forget about Yemen.
It's okay.
Okay.
I think I don't think there were a lot of shocking surprises, nothing that just jumped out to you, because the United States is a powerful country, because it is the center, at the center of everything surrounding, the rest of the globe is very aware of, the American culture, is a follower of even American shows.
But what about for you?
But for me personally, I think what caught my attention the most is there were a lot of talks about the economy being bad. It's taken its toll on the American people. When I came here, you could still see traces of that. I mean, it is evident. I'm not gonna, let's not sugarcoat it. But being such a dynamic community, it's not as depressive as, it's not a gloomy picture as someone would think when you're sitting back home.
So your news is that, the United States is falling apart, and we lost all our jobs.
And that's how it was pictured. And it's not our news. It wasn't really our news. It was how your news pictured the economic situation. And let me be honest. I mean, if the United States was falling apart, what do you think, the rest of the countries are going to do, or how are they going to react? So everyone was just sitting there for quite some time. It was just a wait. You're just sitting there waiting.
Kind of devastating.
Yeah, it was really frustrating. It's still evident. Let's not kid ourselves. There are certain industries that are suffering. There were certain organizations that laid off a lot of people. That is true. But being such a dynamic community, you feel that there is, it can pick up again. And I think if you follow the right strategies, and that's for the rest of our countries as well, if you follow the right strategies, you can, come out of it.
Right, because there's a domino effect. Whatever affects the United States, affects all the whole world, too.
Yeah, so I think if the world works together,
absolutely.
So that was one of the things that, really resonated with me.
And what about you, Rita?
Yeah. For me personally, it was like more seeing that we just said this on lunch, that it was very international, very diversified, many cultures.
You were kind of surprised you said at lunch because you thought it was going to be all Americans, and
I thought
you
it would be
so many
only
different
Americans.
people from different countries.
Exactly. So
see how they all get together and they live together.
Yes.
And if the Middle East would do this, and everybody would get together, all cultures and all religions.
So
what a perfect world this would be.
So that was a major similarity between the United States and Lebanon, because Lebanon is just as diversified as this. We don't have like lots of Spanish, Mexican, Cubans, no, but we have like many cultures, many religions. We have like 19 religions in Lebanon, and we all live together. So the states are just like that, many cultures, many religions, many communities. You might in the same day speak English, Spanish, French, German, so it was like unbelievable.
And you?
Well, for me, talking about religions as well and getting along together, in Yemen you have Muslims and Jews, and as I was preparing for a presentation, I actually found out that there was Christians and also Hindu, and we get along just fine. There are no fights, there are no, oh, you're a Jew, you're a Muslim, there's no such thing. So sometimes the news display it a bit differently, or maybe blow it out of proportion as well, so we have to be careful.
It's almost like our governments it's almost like our governments are keeping us apart, because people
it's political.
Really want to be together.
So for example, someone has a problem with their neighbor, something happens,
accidentally, or the neighbor is Christian and you're a Muslim, suddenly it's Islam and Christianity against Christianity. It shouldn't be that way. It's just neighbors that had a fight. That's it,
right,
you know?
right.
So sometimes we should also pay attention and seek the truth ourselves, and not just turn on the TV, watch the news, and it says, oh, you know, like this Muslim attacked this Christian guy, and I'm like, okay,
It's
we
always
need
And
Islam.
in fact, somebody said something to you. You related at lunchtime that somebody thought you were a terrorist.
Yeah, that's true. And
I mean,
it was so funny because
I mean, you a terrorist?
and it was so funny because I was we had some friends coming over from the same program, but they were in Philadelphia, so they came over to visit us, and we were actually telling them how nice Chicago is, how everyone was friendly, and it is true, honestly. I mean, from the moment I wake up and as I go out to the train station, I every single day I meet a new person who becomes eventually a friend, and I just love that.
It's a scarf.
But
See, they
not
don't
all
have,
of them,
yeah,
though.
But
Yeah.
you don't have this, you know, the scarf or the headdress, and you do. So and these are three of the same women. I mean, not the same, but I mean the same. You know, from Middle Eastern
Similar background,
women.
yeah.
But you don't get that. I don't think
No.
you two will get the same
No,
type of prejudice because you're wearing. It's just a matter of what you're wearing.
Yeah,
Can you imagine that?
But Rua has had wonderful stories of people, because of her scarf, coming up to her and saying salam akalin.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
so
I
you
had,
have to- yeah.
so I had this person, as we were explaining to our friends how nice Chicago was and how friendly the people were. Two people approached me and my roommate. My roommate also wears the headscarf, and they said, "Terrorists, go back to your country." And I was so shocked because it was the first time that it happened. And also some of our friends in other areas, in other states like Philadelphia, they also had a problem or two, which was somewhat similar. But then again, there were other incidents when people would literally cross the road just to make it a purpose to walk up to me, although they're not Muslims, to say Assalamu alaikum. And Assalamu alaikum is the Islamic greeting. It's like hello or something like
maybe
that.
we all to learn that
So
that we can start
there's always the
welcoming.
two sides. And also, the same way I look at it, I think also others should look at the Arab countries. So in Arab countries, yes, some people might look at you in a prejudiced way, but then other people might greet you and welcome you to their home. So it's all over.
Well, you know, Peggy, do you want to tell a little bit anything else about how people could, you know, have guests like these and like these wonderful women,
We
professional
have a
women?
lot of ways for people to get involved. There are literally people from all over the world, so there are opportunities to host them professionally, to talk about your work with them, and they're professional to talk about lawyers and the law firms or marketing or whatever you do. There's professional opportunities, and then there's social hosting opportunities. And there you can have them in your homes for dinner, you can go out to dinner, or there's a lot of opportunities for homestays. We have had some new youth programs. We had some young people from Denmark and from Britain and even from Iraq come recently, and they stayed in homes with Chicago families all around the Chicago area, so northern suburbs, western, as well as in the city. And it's a great experience to have someone in your home and you really get to know about them, about cultures, and you've made a friend for life and somebody to go visit in Beirut. Or
I know I'm definitely going to visit these countries, Lebanon, Oman, Palestine.
We have 1 minute, and I want to thank these wonderful women. And what we're going to try to do with this show, we're going to try to put it on YouTube, where it's going to be on channel 19. It'll eventually be on it'll also be on channel 10, so that everybody in the area will be able to visit, and see what wonderful people and how the news has portrayed the Muslim community as different way than what they really are, and also we're going to be trying to get this on YouTube so everyone around the world can visit and see these ladies. I thank you very much for coming to the show today.
Thank you,
Thank you
Suzanne,
for
for having
having
us
us.
too.
Thanks.
Thanks.